Hello, everyone. Welcome to If My Heart Had Wings Flight Diary Fan Disc. So, today I'll be playing Hotaru's route. So, let's go to the start page. So, Hotaru is one of the major side characters in the original If My Heart Had Wings visual novel, and in typical fan disc fashion, some of these side characters get upgraded to have their own routes in the fan disc. So Hotaru's route is right here. And before I begin Hotaru's route, let's have a brief recap about Hotaru from the original title. So Hotaru is Ageha's little sister, and despite being younger than Ageha, Hotaru played with the Aoi childhood friends group. So Aoi had 4 childhood friends. So Hotaru, Ageha, Masasugu, and Tatsuya/Anchan. And even though she's Ageha's sister, so they look somewhat alike, they have very different personalities. So Ageha is a lot more brash, bold, and daring, while Hotaru is more on the sweeter side. And we got to see a lot of Hotaru in Ageha's character route in the original title. So that was when Ageha used Hotaru as a bystander to fill in for her in an attempt to ease off the favorite teacher, Tobiyuki Sensei's suspicions about the Soaring Club coming back online. So even though the Soaring Club got approved by Kari on behalf of the Student Council, Tobiyuki Sensei does not approve it, and he was, or probably is still, looking for ways to keep the Soaring Club shut down. And because of this, Hotaru almost went out with Aoi in Ageha's route. And I'm not really sure what happened in the background. So there was one part where Ageha and Hotaru were fighting over Aoi, or it was just maybe a distraction or decoy, or another attempt at Ageha trying to ward off Aoi. So let's see how it goes in Hotaru's route. So without the Ageha intervention. So let's click her route and let's begin. Okay. So I'm not sure where this takes place with respect to the original title. So the surface of the lake is rippling with waves while sparkling in the sunlight. And below, a thick carpet of grass is gently swaying in the breeze. A white object slips into view, gracefully buffeted by the wind, and a machine of pure white brimming with a power all of its own. And we know what it is. The runway is clear. We shouted out signals, clearing the glider for takeoff, and I couldn't help tensing up a little. So, the moment of truth. and the time had finally come. The winch cable pulled taut and the frame began to move, gathering speed. And the next moment, it left the green grass of the earth behind and soared into the wild blue yonder. And I craned my neck up. So Hotaru's enjoying the scenery from the side, and all I could see are those white wings rising into the sky. The wind took them right over the lake, going higher and higher, and the pilot adjusted the angle of wings or angle of attack and began to rotate. And I saw the glider bob and weave, stark and shining against the sky. And leveling out, it caught another breeze and started rising again. And it's so high, it's almost unreal. And at this rate, it looks like it might just keep going further and further across the vast, beautiful sky. And overall, it is so pretty. Okay, so we get an opening for Hotaru's route, and let's just skip this. Okay, so what's going on? So Aiha's calling out, "Cut!" Aiha's voice calls me away from the sky and back down to earth.
もしもし、葵、聞こえる？いい感じのが撮れたわ。ありがとね。
So, where's Aoi? So, is he in the sky or he's still on ground?
でも素材にもう何カットか欲しいから戻ってきてくれる？お願いね。
And what is Aiha taking pictures for?
ホタル、今の良かったよ。本当？良かった。表情も顔の上げ方も最高。文句なし。
So, I think what's happening is that Aoi is in the glider in the sky, and Aiha wants a picture of Hotaru looking at the glider, and she tried to get Aoi to fly in a way where Aiha can get a picture-perfect imagery of Hotaru in the glider.
ただ風がね、もうちょっとこう髪やスカートがたなびいてくれると完璧だったんだけど。
And that breeze really makes the picture look better.
別撮りして合成するのはどうですか？それは最後の手段ね。まだ時間はあるし、天気もいいし、もう何回かやってみてからにしよう。
Well, that would be hard to do, and I'm sure despite the best efforts, there is some artifacts, so you can clearly see that someone has edited the picture, so copy and paste. And it's much easier to just take the picture at the right opportunity, or at the right moment. Today, I am helping out the Soaring Club that Aiha and Aoi are part of. Oh, so from Hotaru's perspective. And our eventful summer vacation had come to an end, and we had started a new semester. Aoi is already thinking about the future. And if the club did not get more members next year, it would have to shut down. And to stop that from happening, we need to attract new members. So we've been putting together some publicity material. And I'm sure if freshmen see the gliders in action, they will all want to join. But since the skies are so calm in the spring and there's no wind, there isn't really an option. Instead, we are making a video to show off the very best of the Soaring Club experience. And at this time of the year, the lush greenery and clear skies are just begging to be filmed. And we have figured it would be a perfect time to get some footage that would really entice new members for next year.
それじゃあホタル、もうすぐ戻ってくるから、そしたらもう一回行くよ。
So I'm guessing this is when Aoi, Ageha, and Kotori are fourth year students, and Hotaru is a third year.
はーい。
And this is like a part-time job for me. Ageha asked me to model for the video. And I'm supposed to watch the glider in the sky looking impressed. Well, originally, Ageha and Kotori both wanted to play that part.
まあ新入生の諸君にはこの私に見とれてもらうとしましょうか。別にやりたいわけではないのだけどね。部長としてこういう時はやらないわけにはいかないでしょ。
But after some discussion, it's decided that using someone who is not already a member would make the club more accessible. Or, at a minimum, it'll make the video more convincing, so you're not pretending or acting interested. So you're bringing someone from outside who is excited at what the Soaring Club is doing. So in the end, they ask me, Hotaru, to play that part. And is it getting too tiring for Hotaru? I wiped aside some sweat. And technically, it's almost fall, but the sun is still just as intense as it had been in the height of summer.
まだまだ暑いね。
Ageha fans her face with her hand.
空の上はどうなんだろう。上も暑そうだけど涼しいのかな。羨ましいな。
And I look up at the sky again. So what's going on? The glider continues to roll and turn, gradually getting bigger as it came to land.
さーて着陸だ。みんな準備して。
Okay, so prepare for landing. Aiga, Asa, and Yoru detached themselves from the camera crew and went into action, each one of them knowing exactly what to do. So, to prepare the runway for landing. And I just stood and watched. So, it is all I could do. I watched as the glider approached, bringing Aoi back down to the ground. Okay, so looking from Aoi's perspective, so let's see how he lands this glider. So the view outside the canopy starts to change from sky to land, and soon enough I make contact with the ground. And there's the landing. So there is the initial shock of impact followed by lots of shaking afterwards, and I could feel myself decelerating. And I know I am back on solid ground. It's comforting to have something underneath me again. That's true. And you just did not get the same sense of stability in the air. Oh, phew, okay. I'm safe. And coming to a complete stop, I heaved a sigh of relief. And landing safely had taken all my concentration, but now I could finally relax. A little. Yeah, so no problems. It was a good flight. So, what about you, Kotori? Okay, so I got to make my hair all good. Okay, here we go. So, can I get a countdown? And I count down the last 3 seconds in my head. So 3, 2, 1. And on 0, I release the canopy. Kotori moves her head, allowing the wind to play with her long hair. And the film club students begin shooting, capturing Kotori in the poignant pose from all kinds of different angles. So, smile for the camera! And we are shooting for a promotional video we plan to use next spring. Aga had pulled some strings and got some people from the film club to help us out. And as you expect of students from an engineering school like ours, they all handled their equipment like seasoned pros. Well, I don't think handling the equipment is an issue. It's about getting the right angle, the right lighting, and the right pose. Of course, they are not doing it for free, so we have to return the favor and help them with some of their activities too. Like what? Apparently, they are all eager to get footages of the glider in action. And it is flattering. Well, really, how could we say no? So at least they are interested in this kind of footage. Well, for me, whatever. So whenever I saw the glider in the sky, I could barely take my eyes off of it, and I wanted to share that feeling with other people. And that's where the promotional video comes in. So I wonder, do you think that's enough for now? Okay, so that's good. Kotori smooths her hair back while I climb down out from the cockpit. Okay, so here we go. And with everyone's help, we push the glider to another spot. And once there, we thought over Kotori's wheelchair. So we brought Kotori's wheelchair and prepared to move her into it. And now more pictures. Well, I wasn't posing, so that's normal for me. So I'm not trying to act or exaggerate. Oh, so you're too stiff, and that's going to make the pictures look bad. Kind of like you're forced to. And I guess I must have been nervous about the cameras. So that's going too far. And that sounds more like a Kotori dream-like moment, which is not what this photo shoot is about. That won't do. Well, what do you think, Asa?
はい、いいと思います。
I think it might work.
ダメよ、朝ちゃん。侵食されちゃう。人を腐食性薬品みたいに言わないでくれる。
And I feel it's more like Agaha being jealous. Like, hey, so how come Agaha or Kotori gets all the spotlight and posting it is just going to leave us in the dust?
まったくもう。そんじゃあ葵、一休みしたらもうひとっ飛びお願いね。
Oh, sure. Okay, so let's take a break and prepare for another flight. So, more videos.
英検さんから夕方の空を飛ぶところを撮りたいってリクエスト来てるけど、いけるかな？
So this time with an evening sky. Okay, so the weather looks like it'll hold up, so that should be fine. And how about we take it in turns until then?
それいいね。やった。まあ、今日の天候なら問題ないでしょ。
Well, I guess it's okay. And basically everyone is having fun. And out of the corner of my eye, I noticed someone standing around a little ways away. So, Hotaru, so do you want to give it a try?
あ、いいよ、私は。
I'm okay. So I think Hotaru wants to pass.
部員じゃないし、その、英検の人を乗せた方が。
Alright, well, if you say so. Hotaru's always so shy, like she's afraid to get involved. And even when we are kids, she usually trail along behind me. And she probably would not even have come here today if Agaha had not been here too. And I've known her so long, I'm used to it, but I kind of wish she tried to get to know some of the other club members. Well, if everyone else is had a turn, and we still have time, how about you have a go? Thanks. So will Hotaru accept?
ああ、ホタル。夕方の一番綺麗なとこ狙ってるな。一番綺麗の。
So you want to go last when so the sky is the most beautiful? And Hotaru turns her eyes skywards. So she's probably trying to imagine the sky not as it is now, but dyed in purple and blue shades of twilight. And I thought about how the sky would look then. Climbing to the glider and setting off into that world of vibrant colors.
どうした？図星だろ。ずるいぞ、ホタル。一番いいとこ狙うなんて。
So, you want it, right?
そんなことないよ。
No? Hey, well, if that's what you want, I don't mind taking you up there. So, and thinking of it as... Oh, so think of it as thanks for helping us today. Okay, so does Hotaru still want to ride?
どうするの？私もホタルが乗りたいって言うなら別にいいんだけど。それは、
Well, Hotaru mutters quietly. And why is she so scared? If she wanted to go, she should just come out and say so.
おい、 撮らせてほしいんだけど、いいか?
So for the film crew, it's like, hey, so we're ready. So are you going to do it or not? So we're not going to be waiting here all day and wasting our time.
あーはい。葵も来て。
Oh, right.
いってらっしゃい。
Hotaru waves, sending us off with a smile that looks slightly relieved. Okay, so at least I got away from this uncomfortable question. And we headed off to help the film club get their footage of the glider while it is still grounded. Okay, so it looks like it's time for another flight. So some of them got up on top of some high scaffolding and shot it from up high. And at one point we had to move the glider to get the lake in the background. And a little later we are ready for another flight. So after all this time, I still love the sky. And this time, Kotori took the front seat. And then Asa and Yoru took their turns. Okay, so once again, they're in the sky. So somehow they convinced the film crew or the club to lend them a camera so they could shoot from the air. So they borrowed a camera and they recorded it while in the sky.
おー、いい感じ。地上撮りたいから旋回してくれる?
Oh, sure. And I tilt the glider's wings. And this new angle gave us a wide, spreading view of both the lake and the Kazagura townscape.
ズーム。おー、人が見える見える。
So, why don't you zoom in and show us people from up here?
ホタル発見。
Oh, so the picture that clear?
顔は無理だよ。でもあの子いつもみんなから少し離れて立ってるから。
Aika probably did not mean anything like that. But it made me worry a little. So what's the problem? Okay, so anyways, in front of me, the sky lit up with colors as the sun started to sink below the horizon.
それじゃあラストフライト。夕暮れの離陸と着陸ね。青
Okay.
い行ける?
So last flight. Sure.
それじゃ、今日のラストカット。ハバネさん、お願いします。
And Kotori is the other pilot or passenger. And the film club greets Kotori with a round of applause.
夕焼けをバックに着陸してくるグライダー。キャノピーを開いて姿を見せるロングの美少女。最高。
仕方ないな。もう。
And I think Kotori's getting tired. So what can you do, right? Kotori and I climb into the cockpit we've been shooting since noon, but none of the film crew showed any signs of getting tired. So this is the best shot, and we got to end it with great spirits. And while we are getting ready for takeoff, Hotaru comes closer to the runway than she had all day.
ほらホタル、あんたもスタンバイ。見上げるとこ撮るから。あ、うん。
Okay. So are you worried about us? We'll be fine. And trust me, we've done this plenty of times already.
気をつけてね、青に。
Oh, thanks. And it's cute the way she is worried about us. Okay, let's get going.
気温が下がってきて、気流が不安定になってるかもしれない。気をつけて。
Sure. And the sky may be beautiful, but it could be plenty dangerous too. And we might have seemed a little cautious with our constant safety checks, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. That's true. And not that I'm going to enjoy this Twilight ride to the fullest. And under Agaha's direction, we got the glider into position and had a smooth takeoff. And in this light, the place looked completely different. The lake and the town now wrapped in shadow.
もうちょっと上がれる？今機体に太陽当たってすごくいい感じなんだって。東から西へ湖横断してここの上空を通るコースを一直線に飛んでって英検からのお願い。
Okay? Okay, I got it. And I caught a thermal to bring the glider higher and then set out on a course Agaha had described. Okay, so I made sure to keep in contact with everyone on the ground. At this time of the day, the shadows could play tricks and put you off your game. And the dying light wouldn't last long, so I know I had to show the film club the best possible landing for the final shoot of the day. Okay, so here goes nothing. So I think they're landing. And once again, Kotori looking up. So the canopy opens to reveal Kotori. And she's done this so many times today already that she knows exactly what to do. She struck a dramatic pose. And that's it.
終了！みんなお疲れ様！
So that's all for today. And when do you become the director?
そういうこと言う子にはジュース分けてあげません。
Aga turns away in mock outrage.
飲み物、どうぞ、皆さん。
But it's too late, so Hotaru brought drinks. Hotaru reappears riding a bicycle. And the basket on the front is full of plastic drink bottles, clearly fresh from the fridge and still dripping with condensation. And just looking at them is enough to cool me down. And she must have run off to get them while Kotori and I are in the air. Or were in the air. And the film club is packing up their equipment, but they welcome the chance to take a break and quench their thirst.
私もいただくわ。
Okay, so one for me, one for me.
私これ、葵は何にする？
So what do you have? What's available? I quickly scanned the rapidly diminishing selection of drinks that I hadn't been claimed already. Well, nothing really piques my interest, so... Okay, let me see here. And I wonder if there is anything new I could try. Something with tropical fruits, maybe, while my eyes rested on a muddy-looking, milky orange liquid. Everyone else had been giving it a wide berth, but I just could not resist anything new. And plus, there's two of them. Maybe I could get away with taking both? Wait, huh? So I think Hotaru hasn't had a drink yet, so... Hotaru had been standing by, watching the drinks disappear. She hadn't taken one yet by the looks of it. There you go. And So Hotaru, which one do you want?
残ったのでいいよ。
I'll take the last one. Well, you're the one who bought them, so no one's going to resent you for taking your first choice, you know.
あ、いや、本当にいいの。残った
Well, there are 2 bottles of milky orange stuff I just picked out for myself. Okay, so I'll take this.
それちょうだい。
So, me? Kotori arrives just in time to grab one. Sure, so here you go. And it is not easy for her to get close enough to reach into the basket with her wheelchair and all. So I handed Kotori one of the milky colored bottles.
うわ見るからに怪しい。まずそう。
And that leaves Hotaru with 0. And smiling happily, she twists open the lid.
何見てんのよ。
I'm sorry, well, I'm just thinking, so I could use you as my guinea pig. So tell me how it tastes.
あ、同じの持ってる。ずるい。そっちが先に飲みなさい。
Well, then you drink first. Fine. And I'll open up the bottle that I taken. And somehow we both took our first sips at exactly the same time. Wow, well, it is surprisingly good. And after so many flights in a row, the strong, sweet flavor is just the thing to re-energize me. Well, it's actually not too bad.
いいじゃない。それこの前試したけどさ、微妙。
Well, it's not that great.
そりゃまあ、葵は好きそうだなってホタルと言い合ったけどさ。あんたまた選んでないの？
Wait, yet?
私どれでもいいから。
So once again, I'll pick anything.
そう言ってる間にみんなに全部持ってかれて物陰でベソ書いてるの何回見たか。
So that's the usual you. So you wait for everyone to make their choice and then you pick the last one. Yeah, and that's a familiar sight, alright. Okay, well, but ease up a little. So she's come a long way since the old days. And I pick up one of the remaining bottles. And at this point, there's nothing but plain old mineral water left. So, is water okay then?
それで。
Okay, I'll take it.
またあんたはそうやって欲しくもないの。それが欲しいの。
And it's not often that Hotaru asserts herself like that. Well, I'm kind of guessing that Hotaru might have wanted something with more flavor than just plain old mineral water. And it may seem like a pretty thing for her to get worked up over, but it shows she's starting to stand up for herself more. Okay, so here you go. And I toss the bottle over to Hotaru. So wait, what's wrong with this? And she must have thought I am only planning to pass it to her. She shot out her arm and completely missed the mark. And by the time she reached out, the bottle is already in the air. And Hotaru manages to get a hand on it, but it's a little too late. The bottle tumbled out of her grip and down to the ground. Uh-oh, oops. And instinctively, I dove forward to catch it. And then, so what's next? I felt a dull pain. Well, so I must have moved too fast. And it set off this uncomfortable sensation way down my knee. And an old memory flashes to the forefront of my mind. So it was the first time I tried to ride my bicycle after I got out of the hospital. And I started pedaling, got moving, left the breeze in my hair, or felt. And the wind had washed over me, and just as I'm about to pick up speed, the pain hit. And that was when I truly understand what the doctors had told me is true. So it's over. I never pedal as fast as I used to, never feel the intoxicating sensation of becoming one with the wind. And the flash of memory only lasted for a second.
Aoni?
So Aoni, and Hotaru's voice calls me out of my reverie. Oh, well, sorry, well, it's nothing. And coming back to my senses, I reached out for the plastic bottle. And I picked it up and handed it to Hotaru. Okay, so here you go. And giving my leg an experimental stretch, the pain seems to have disappeared. And maybe it's just been my imagination. Okay, so here's your water.
ありがとう。Aoni, 汗すごい。
Okay, so you're sweaty. Well, I guess I drank that last one too fast. Well, maybe I'll grab another one.
私のあげる。
So how about you drink mine then? Well, don't be silly. So you've been outdoors all day too, so you need to keep hydrated too. And he struck his serious throat or threat with this weather.
はい。
Okay, so I'll take your word for it.
みんな、一休みしたら撤収準備よ。暗くなる前にね。はーい。
Sure. And I gave the ground a little kick. Okay, so my knee's fine, so no pain. And I must have been imagining it before.
いい絵が撮れました。ありがとうございます。
こちらこそ、いい素材をありがとう。お互い、いいものを作りましょうね。
So thanks for your help. Kotori shifts into club leader mode and exchanges some closing pleasantries with the camera crew.
それじゃあ、引き上げますか。
And we disassembled the glider and loaded the parts onto the trailer.
みんな、お疲れ。
Okay, so going back to the base, the dock, we see Amane. So good work, everyone.
天音先輩来てたんですね。風車の件で近くに来たんだ。
Well, I just happened to be nearby.
君たちが飛んでるのも見えてたぞ。手を振ったけど見えたかな。葵見えた？
So, do you see Amane from above? I'm sorry, I wasn't really paying much attention to the ground.
撮った動画チェックしてみよっか。映ってるかも。
Well, I'm kind of curious, but we should probably call it a day for now. I'm getting hungry and I need to fix dinner for the boarders. And I'm sure Amani wants to have some as well. Whoa, so don't look so glum. I know what you're thinking about, and I'll be glad to have you over.
やったー。
Oh, great! So I get to enjoy your cooking too.
私たちももちろんいいよね。
So me too, for Agaha. Well, sure, but you're going to have to help then. And I wonder if Aga's mother's okay with it.
もちろん、ホタルにもって。
So Hotaru had withdrawn from the group like she is trying to sneak away. I'll pass. I'm not part of the Soaring Club, so... I am not part of this.
こらこら、また影みたいに消えないの。
So, are you hiding again? Well, okay, so come and join us, Hotaru.
でも
But, and you may not be a club member, but you did a great job modeling for the video, so we'd be happy to have you over.
そうそう、あんたが帰ると私の居心地悪いっての。それともお姉様に迷惑かけたいのかしら。
So, are you trying to make your sister or trying to dump me?
それは平気かも。よろしい。ではそこのチェーンでお互いの左手首を結んで。
Okay, so how about I drag you, so wherever I go, you follow. Oh, come on. And this is no time for some kind of chain death match. And seriously, Amane and Agaha are already coming, and one more mouth to feed won't make that much difference. And it just means I'll have to cook more, so I'll be counting on you to do your part in the kitchen.
わかった。
Okay then.
星になったあーちゃんの分まで頑張る。
Okay, here we go. Agaha is the only one Hotaru never pulls her punches around, and that is sisterly love for you.
ああ、それじゃあ帰る前に動画データアップしておくよ。寮のパソコン貸してね。そっちでみんなで見よう。
Well, it sounds like fun. Okay, so now everyone is at the Flying Fish Manor for dinner. So we return to the dorm, everyone chatting and joking like usual, and got dinner ready.
いただきます。
So my chopsticks flew into action. I hadn't realized quite much of an appetite I worked up from those repeated flights for the camera crew, or the camera club.
明日はどうするの？天気が良ければ飛びたいところだけど。
So just more flights. Well, the forecast says that there will be some wind, but dealing with that should be good practice.
それじゃあ明日も来るね。
Okay, I'll come. But what about Hotaru? Okay, so you should come too, Hotaru. And I feel bad for not getting a chance to take you up today.
部員じゃないからいいよ。
But you know, I'm not a club member, so it's okay if I don't go up. Well, don't be so shy. And I put my hand on Hotaru's head and ruffle her head a little. So, don't worry, everything's okay. Even though you're not a club member, you can still ride the glider. Well, it's making it embarrassing for me. Okay, well, regardless, you are coming tomorrow, right?
でも。
But... So Hotaru wants to say no, but is being convinced or pushed really hard by Aoi to go. Okay, so showing people what gliding is all about is part of the Soaring Club's motto anyways, and it all works out, or theme. So you coming by would actually help us with our club activities. So how about that? So will you come? Well, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight if I don't get an answer. So come on, just please come.
わかった。
Okay. There. So that was not hard.
ハニー、ありがとう。
Well, you're welcome. Well, actually, say the thanks for after I've shown you a great flight. So I'm going to demonstrate it exclusively to you. And the figures... Oh, so the flight's not officially over until we touch down on the runway.
わかった。楽しみにしてる。お、先輩らしいこと言ってる。
And so I wonder if Ayaha's jealous, or I like how he's acting to my little sister.
まあ、当然の心がけよね。
Well, that's how it is.
ホタル、あんた熱出すんじゃないわよ。楽しみにしてることの前にワクワクしすぎて熱出すのしょっちゅうだったよね。
I wonder if Hotaru faked it, so I can come I'm sick. And a way to get out of doing things.
もうそういう年じゃないよ。
Well, that was past.
どうだか。大丈夫。熱なんか出さない。
So Hotaru clenches her fists in determination. And I could not put my finger on why, but I had a bad feeling about this. So why? Okay, so unfortunately the next day it's raining hard, so forget about flying today. I looked out my window and saw only gray, rainy skies. Ah, what a drag. I turned on my laptop and looked up the day's forecast. And a phone call. Oh, hey, morning, and looks like today is no good.
だね。
Yeah, I thought so. I'm looking at the forecast right now, and I don't think it's going to get any better, so it'll be raining all day.
台風も発生したみたいだし、こりゃ昨日が奇跡の一日だったってことになるかもね。
So, unfortunately, it looks like a typhoon's coming, so... Well, I guess we should consider ourselves lucky. Why? Well, we have to call off today's flight and use the day to look through the video footage. I'll let the others know.
了解。
And well, tell Hotaru sorry for me, okay? Well, I'm pretty sure Hotaru feels glad that this happened, so at least I don't have to force myself to go to the Soaring Club and ride on the glider.
わかった。昨日寝る前から熱っぽい顔してたんだよね。さてさて、どうなっていますやら。
So she did get sick.
これから寝顔拝見。ベッドに突撃かますけど、実況中継してあげよっか。
Well, please don't. And I gave a wry laugh and hung up. Okay, so Hotaru did get sick. Well, no flights today, huh? And we might get some clear spells, but given the chance of strong winds or rain blowing in, it's not worth the risk. And I felt like Hotaru, so I let Hotaru down, but it's not like the weather is something you could control. That's true. And I take her up another time when conditions are better. Well, better get started. So, the videos. And even without the promise of a flight, I had dorm mother work to do. I'm starting to think about breakfast when... And something is not right with my knee. Every time I move, there is this, well, not pain exactly, just a dull feeling that did not belong there. Well, maybe the humidity has set it off. But then I tried stretching my leg and nothing is wrong. Well, had it been my head or my memories and thoughts and just a psychologic feeling? Okay, so what's going on? So now that I know I'm not going gliding today, I head over to Wendy's to do some shopping. And I hefted up my fully packed grocery bags. And basics like veggies and rice I could get delivered, but I figure I should pick up some other supplies under my own steam. So while I'm making this one trip, and considering how many people I had to cook for, the bags are pretty heavy. And lugging them back to the dorm would be a good exercise. Wait, so what's going on? And okay, so Aoi feels some pain in his knee. And there's that pain in my knee again. And it's not all that intense. I could still walk just fine. It's more an annoyance than anything. Well, this again, huh? And it's the same sensation as yesterday when I gone to pick up that plastic bottle. And that's when it all began. Well, I'm glad it hadn't happened during a flight. And getting distracted by the pain in the air could have turned into a serious problem. And part of me is relieved that no one else knew about this. I would not have wanted anyone to worry. Well, probably next. So best to stick with a warm compress on it when I get back, and maybe I'll drop by the drugstore. And so Hotaru shows up. Wait, huh? So why are you here? Hotaru? And what is she doing here? Oh wait, there you go. Oh, I'm sorry for not saying hi. Well, it's okay. Well, I guess we just missed each other. If I had known, I would have loaded myself up with all this stuff. Or I wouldn't. Okay, so I'll help you then. Oh, no. Well, I could not make you do that. Well, seriously, so it's fine. And I can handle all this. Well, I'm sure you're covering up. Although, if you don't mind being a little late to the store, it'd be pretty nice if you could keep me company on the way back to the dorm. Well, you look really cute just now. Well, I pat your head right now, but my hands are full. Okay, so how about I take one of your bags so that you have one free hand to pat me. Overcome with emotion, Hotaru dives right into me. Hey, calm down. So, it's heavy. Wait, so what's wrong now? Not again. My foot went down at an odd angle and the pain came back. Okay, so it looks like it's the next day, so I'm gonna leave this to the next episode. So, if you remember from the original title, Aoi sustained injuries. So he was an excellent cyclist. He rode bicycles, and he did win a championship at one point, but then he hurt himself. So I think he crashed, And even though he recovered fine, I'm sure he can't do extreme sports, and that's why his knee is hurting. So he did recover, but not 100%. And that was one of the reasons why he ended up at Cave Academy, because he had to quit and drop out of his old school, which was a sporting school. And also learned from the original title that Hotaru and Ageha, they run a shop, or their parents run a shop in Wendy's. So Himeki Sports, and they sell sporting goods. So when Tatsuya took Aoi to Wendy's at one point, so as a reunion, that's when they intercepted Ageha and Hotaru at their parents' shop. And they did have some refreshments together, and Masasugi was absent because that time, I am going to tend to my girlfriend, Eri-chan, which he later broke up. So anyways, with that in mind, we'll see how all this comes down in the next episode.